What's up, y'all? I'm back in the building once again. The topic today is self-medicating, self-medication. Well, I'm gonna start off by telling you my journey with the whole self-medication. I started smoking weed in college. I wasn't sick. I wasn't stressed. I wasn't depressed. I didn't have any worry in the world. I was just a young college student, finally away from home. I was just ready to party. That's where my journey began at. I was a happy smoker. I smoked it because I just enjoyed it. There was no, oh man, life is so hard, life is so stressful. I can't take this no more. I just need to go smoke. It wasn't none of that for me when I first started. It was just all fun times and college dorm rooms. It was a great experience. I wasn't much of a drinker at the time, aren't much of a drinker now. Everyone starts somewhere. I see my friends going off to smoke, and I was like, hey, let me tag along with you. And then from that point, I kind of just tagged along. And due to unforeseen circumstances, I stopped smoking after it was the fall semester of my freshman year. So all fall semester, fun time, smoking, enjoying myself was a new experience. Once the fall semester was over, stopped smoking due to reasons that I don't really care to name right now. Didn't smoke again for like damn near all the way until the fall semester of my sophomore year. Picked up again. And I'd probably say from that point on, it's kind of just been on and off for a bunch of different reasons. Usually to get a job. Anytime I had to get a job, I've never lasted at jobs for very long. Prior to my last two jobs I just had, yeah, usually I last around a year. So after that, I had to get another job. And the kind of entry level jobs that I was getting, they did drug testing. So in order to get one, I had to quit smoking. So I was always somebody who kind of just was on and off with it. That just was my experience. That's just what it was. I didn't find it difficult at all. And also I'm a very, I guess you could kind of say I'm a control freak. But so because I'm a control freak, I never wanted to believe that, or not even just believe. I never wanted to feel like something had control over me. That's probably part of the reason why I never really, it was always a habit that I knew that I could kick. I always felt good about that, saying, I could quit whenever I feel like it. It's not a big deal. For the most part, that's what it was. Anytime I wanted to quit, I just go cold turkey. And it's pretty much been like that ever since then. Once I graduated college, that's more so when I started smoking because life wasn't too much fun no more. Once you graduate college, no one tells you that all your friends who you around all the time, you're barely gonna see them. Everyone has their own life that they gotta attend to. People have jobs, people start having kids, they're in relationships. I mean, it's so many things going on that you really don't see your friends. So if right now you got 100 friends, 200 friends, you think you're gonna see them all the time? Mm-mm. Even your close friends who you grew up with, you start to barely see them. Really, only see is whoever's in your household. And if you work a lot, most Americans work probably like, no one works the 40 hours no more. People working like 50, 60, 70 hours. I mean, that's just the way of the world now. As things, inflation makes things cost more and more. The hourly wages aren't keeping up with that. So people have to, in turn, work more hours just to sustain and maintain trying to pay their bills. It's unfortunate, but that's what we have to do. Those of us at the bottom. Mainly because of that, barely see your friends anymore. So, a lot of people take to self-medicating. I was already smoking already, so around that time, that's when more so when I'm like, oh man, I need to smoke. Before, I just wanted to smoke. Once I got to that portion of my life, I wanted to be a more mature person, so I decided, I don't want to be in and out of jobs every year. I started looking at myself and, more, introspectively and saying, it's my fault that I'm not at these jobs, because I'm either on the verge of getting fired, so I usually would quit. I was just tired of that cycle, so I decided that I was going to buckle down and improve a lot of my habits. So when I got to, my job at Bloomingdale's, which I started in like 2011, I really started improving a lot of my not only my work habits, showing up on time and just being a better employee. And then when I got another job, I was working two jobs. One of them was at a group home, where I'm still at today. And that's 2012. It's 2017, so I've been there 5 years. Clearly, I improved on my work habits. Unfortunately, it made me miserable. Everything that it takes to be a great employee at a 9-to-5 job is the same thing that made me miserable. I'm a creative person. I like my life to be more spontaneous. I like new challenges, and a mundane 9-to-5 just doesn't provide that. That added to my self-medication. I probably started smoking a lot more than I did in college. Which sounds crazy, but you would think I would smoke a lot more in college because I have less to do. You working two jobs, you don't really know where your life is going. Still home at your mom's house. You know, society has trained you to think that that's a bad thing. You know, you start self-medicating a lot more than you normally would have. Even now, you know, I haven't had my car in a while, so I've been on my bike. And anytime I'm riding my bike through the neighborhoods on my way to work, back home, or just trying to work out, everywhere I go, I smell weed. So that tells me that a lot of people are self-medicating. You know, marijuana has become more accepted in our society. You know, when I first started smoking, it was still taboo, it was still illegal. There was no decriminalization, and you know, if you got caught with it, you went to jail, or you know, you got a court date. Now it's a lot more accepting. So I think people feel more comfortable smoking now, and I smell it everywhere I go. You know, for a while I thought it was me. I'm like, you know, because obviously I was doing my own smoking, so I thought that, I'm like, damn, is it still on my t-shirt? When I go into, I'll be paranoid. Like, man, when I go into work, are people gonna smell it? And it wasn't until I realized that it's not me. It's everybody. Everyone seems to be smoking now. It's a beautiful thing in some ways, but it's also a little concerning because it's like, are they smoking like I started smoking because they just enjoyed it? Or are they smoking because life's too hard, life's too much for them to deal with? I think it's the latter. I think a lot of people, they just, you know, they got to work so many hours just to make ends meet. And usually it's at a job that they really don't want to be at. Causes a lot of stress, causes a lot of depression. They're not happy. The family isn't happy. The significant other isn't happy. No one seems to be happy anymore. No one can find happiness, so they turn to self-medication. And like myself, I understand it from that point as well. You know, but I think because the way I started smoking, I also understand that that's not necessarily the best way to start smoking, which is to feel that you need it just to get through the day. Some people need it to sleep. You know, a friend of mine said that he can't sleep without marijuana. If he didn't have weed, he wouldn't be able to sleep at all. So, you know, a lot of people, if you don't want to, they don't, you know, you go to a doctor, they're just going to try to put you on some type of pill. So instead of being on a pill, I personally rather smoke, you know, but at the same time, I don't want to smoke just because I'm stressed out or I'm depressed or I can't deal with life. I figure there's other ways to do it. You know, I'd rather it be something recreational that I'm just doing it because I want to do it, as opposed to I have to do it. That leads to habit, and you know, habit leads to addiction. Like I said, I'm a very controlling person. I don't want to feel like anything has control over me. So, you know, recently, I say about a month ago, I quit smoking. First and foremost, it's a very expensive habit. You know, I used to smoke like a quarter every 3-4 days. And a quarter nowadays is like $60 on the street. So if I'm getting, let's say about two of those a week, I mean, that's like $120 a week. That's ridiculous. You know, to be spending that kind of money on weed. And even if it was just $60 a week, it's 52 weeks in a year. So do the math on that. You know, and with me wanting to start my business, and I'm gonna have to quit my job. Well, I don't have to, but I want to. I want to focus 100% on what I'm doing. So because of that, I'm not gonna have the money to pay for that habit. Also, what I realize is that the more you smoke, the higher your tolerance get. The higher your tolerance get, you need either something stronger, or you're gonna need to switch to a different drug. I'm not going down that path at all. That's what I was afraid of. I don't want, you know, they say weed is a gateway drug. I argued that for years. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. But if you continually need a stronger dosage, or you're eventually going to get to a place where you're either going to stop or you're going to switch drugs. I chose the former. I decided to stop, mainly because when I'm smoking, I don't want to, you know, I feel like I can't get much done. You know, I'm not somebody who can smoke and go do something important, like go to work or go to like a meeting, have a meaningful conversation. I mean, I'm not that kind of smoker. Like I said, when I first started, it was just recreational. It was fun. I want to have fun when I smoke. I don't want to have to do anything important. So that was another reason. I felt like I was wasting a lot of time. We only got one life to live. I'm not going to spend it high all the time, wasting my life. You know, I actually want to do something positive. Being a business owner, not only am I responsible for myself, I'm responsible for, you know, my future employees. So I don't want to be the type of guy I got to go to a business meeting and I'm high out of my mind and I can't conduct business. You know, that's going to hurt my business. If people, you know, they see me, you know, I don't want to look like a drug addict going to a business meeting. No one's going to take me seriously. Those are some of the reasons that I quit. And I still don't think it's a bad thing, but that's the decision that I made to just go completely full turkey. So good so far. You know, haven't been craving anything or anything like that. I think it caused a few issues, to be completely honest. First thing, my eating habits. I got to a point where I didn't even want to have a meal until I smoked, you know, because when you smoke, it enhances everything. It makes the food taste better. It can lead to a lot of overeating. You know, when you have what is it called, the munchies. I used to overeat a lot, and I still do that to this day. You know, I'm trying to curb that. You know, small doses. Gotta remember that. One thing it helps with is like artistic ability. So all the artists out there, it enhances your artistic ability. It just makes you see things in a different way. Like I said, now I'm like a guy learning to ride his bike again. You know, so I don't really need it anymore. Haven't been using it. Still creative. You know, still doing my thing. So like I always say, just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, so drop a comment, leave your stories, whatever your experiences are with self-medication, drop it like it's hot. Out. Peace.